Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild-to-wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at texastruckworks.com.
You know, I knew that there would be a point where the car show went right down the toilet, and I think that it's happened. Welcome to In Wheel Time, your weekly award-winning live rant car talk show. Just ahead, we continue Dodge Day with the local Mopar Club. We'll have our Ram Tracks feature, Conrad's Car Clinic, and today's auto news. Just ahead in this segment of the In Wheel Time car show. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, Italian, and King Conrad DeLong. I'm Don Armstrong.
The angry senior citizen.
God. So, at any rate.
What a great lead-in for this guy.
It is, so
Sorry, Charles.
It'll give me a chance to calm down while you guys do the interview with Charles. And his name is Charles Williams, and he is with the Houston Mopar Connection Car Club, and he's sideways. Kind of like I got with Sears and Craftsman. Charles, we don't know how to fix you sideways, but instead of looking at you
There you go. There you go.
do it that way. There you go. We don't know exactly why you're sideways, but you are. But we don't care about that.
There you go.
Well, you could just rotate the phone, but that's okay. This works.
Apparently he did that. So, Charles, it's great to talk to you. Houston Mopar Connection. I don't know whether you heard our show a little bit earlier, but they did reference the connection part because there was a Mopar Connection. Actually, it was a media thing,
right?
And advertising,
tying all the performance cars together.
And so I assume that somewhere back in the past that it has that connection, and if it doesn't, we just gave it that. So, Charles, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being with us today. So tell us a little bit about the Houston Mopar Connection Car Club.
Well, actually, it started back right at 1983. A group of individuals decided that they just wanted to start a little club and just share information of the cars that they had, and eventually it moved on. They did show and races, started about 1989. They did that for about 15 years at the racetrack out there. They did pretty good, made a lot of money, but it cost a lot of money because they were making money for charities. We are really big in Star of Hope, DePelchin, Shriners, Star of Hope, and the food bank.
So tell me about the cars that are in the car club. I mean, do they date back to the 50s, the 60s, or are they mostly new cars?
Actually, we've got some early 50 cars. In fact, I'm sitting in a 1953 Willys Aero Eagle car.
Willys.
Now you say Willys.
Yes.
Now, is that part of Mopar?
Is it?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Yes. Willys, real quick. Willys started making cars in 1903. They made them up to 1941 was their most famous gasser cars.
Did we lose him?
Yeah, we've
the
lost
internet.
your volume.
No, we lost the internet.
Production line, and they made the Willys Aero car. This particular one was made in 1953. My mother saw it come off a transport down there, close to where the Astrodome is now. She walked over there during lunch, looked at it, talked to my dad, bought it the next day.
That car.
So this car I'm sitting in right now.
How cool is that?
So, well, it's my first ride when I came home from the hospital. It was my first car ride in this car.
So talk about the Mopar Connection. I guess you definitely have it with that car. At least you weren't born in the car.
No, I wasn't born, but there's other stories. But
no time. We don't want that.
It's a different show. Different show.
Different show.
Yeah, that's our nighttime show.
It's a wonderful little car. I had it at Autorama last year or year before last, and it actually came second place in its class. It's a nice little car, 3 on a tree, electric overdrive, 161 cubic inch motor. I mean, 4 people can actually sit in this front seat. It's just a nice little car. Rolls down the road like a Cadillac.
No doubt.
How cool is
yeah,
that?
so all I can think of is the I just got through reading a Checker Marathon story about the history of the Checker Marathon, and I don't know what you think of them, but I mean it's kind of similar in the style and in the entire structure of the car. The interior is big.
A people mover.
It's a people mover, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
This was built back when the families were starting to get bigger. So of course, the safety features. This is a steel dash on this car. So kids rode in the back seat. So that's
unbuckled because they didn't have seatbelts back then.
There was no seatbelts in this car.
How many people are in the Mopar Connection Car Club?
I think right now we have about 65 to 70.
Yeah, and how many cars does that represent? About 30 or so?
Probably 120.
Oh my gosh!
Wow. Hey,
because
apparently
there are multiple cars within a select family.
Well, actually, to my right is a 67 Dodge Charger. To my left is a 73 Cuda.
Are you sitting in the garage of your house?
Just a little bit. And I got a 68 Roadrunner.
Yeah, so you obviously are in the garage
there's
today.
4 of them right there.
There's 4 of them.
We can assume that you're friends with John Hovis and the folks out at Hemi Hideout.
Oh, wonderful man.
Isn't he?
And I'll tell you what, if you ever been there, it's wonderful. If you get a chance, go.
Well,
it's Mopar heaven.
Yeah, I got to wait till they reopen after all of this mess that's going on. But it's truly a automotive bucket list place to visit.
Now, y'all got a couple of events y'all do, too.
Yes.
One in particular.
Well, we do. We was doing the show and race until about 2004. And then another company took it over. It was like we weren't making any money. And so we started up 13 years ago, the Halloween Classic Car Show. It's over there at the National Museum of Funeral History. It is a wonderful show.
Which is right off of I-45 in Airtex, I believe.
Yes, it is. It's on the north side.
Yep.
We get about 180 to 190 cars.
Wow.
But the people dress up. They dress up their cars. We have a haunted house. It's PG-13, but I have stuff in there that moves around.
Well, Charles, I hate to tell you this, but I dress up every day. So going up there to the Halloween car show.
All Don needs is an excuse to dress up
and to put my pumps on.
And Ray will come out.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that we need to be up there for the Halloween show. When is it? Don't tell me it's on Halloween night.
October 31st.
It is on Halloween night. How fun.
Actually, it's during the day.
It's during the day.
It's a day show.
Okay.
Bar this COVID thing, we're moving forward to have it. What happened a couple of years ago, it was bad weather. So the car show was supposed to be on a particular Saturday, and I had to cancel it the next Saturday, moved it to a week before Easter, and we called it Easter Ween.
Easter Ween. Oh, how fun. Yeah, absolutely. Well, for everybody that doesn't know, Halloween this year is going to be on a Saturday.
Yes.
We're looking forward to it. I'm moving forward with the show. It's just so much fun. And then we give money to the charities, and they really are going to need it this year. It's really tough for people.
Well, I have to tell you that I think that we're all trying to get into some sort of a social rhythm these days, and it would not surprise me that we would be able to have an actual outdoor car event, social distancing and masks, and I think that we got us a show.
Well, I mean, figure it's going to be Halloween. You're going to be wearing masks anyway, so you might as well just have the right ones.
Absolutely. Well, how do we get a hold of the Houston Mopar Connection Car Club?
Actually, you just look it up, and on the internet, if you just type in Houston Mopar, we're about the first one that pops up. And then if you want my email address, I can give it out right now.
Please do.
It is HalloweenCarShow@yahoo.com.
Halloween Car Show at yahoo.com.
I don't remember that.
Hey, even I can remember that. Charles, it is great to talk to you. Thank you so much. We love your classic car that you're sitting in the garage and all the Mopars that you got around you. Thank you so much. Let's stay in touch and look forward to seeing you at Halloween.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
You do the same. We appreciate it. All right,
cool.
Time now for our Ram Tracks feature in Wheel Time's Weekly Look into the Ram Nation. Mr. Mars has that for us.
So we've been talking about storage. We talked about towing capacity. But one thing I wanted to remind everybody about engines. You know, you got 3 different powertrain options in the Ram 1500 in regards to different levels depending on what you're going to do. You're going to tow a big load. You're going to haul a big load, whatever. You can start it. You can get a 3.0-liter EcoDiesel V6. It's going to give you 260 horsepower and 480 pound-feet of torque.
Newton meters.
And so, or you can step up to, if you're more into the gasoline, 3.6-liter V6, which is the rock-solid engine that FCA has got everywhere.
Everything, yeah.
Works everything fine, 305 horsepower, 269 pound-feet of torque. But you can really step up to the 5.7-liter Hemi V8. Now, this is the legendary. We've been talking about it. You can get it with 395 horses and 410 pound-feet of torque. So that's where you start getting into those tow levels and stuff that we've been talking about when you're talking about the large RVs or a heavier load without stepping up to a 3/4 ton. So that's the power 3 things you need to look at when you're talking about towing and you're looking for your new truck.
Thank you, sir. Time now for a quick break. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. We are All Things Automotive. Our live broadcast available 10 a.m. to noon Central Time every Saturday before all the good stuff gets edited out. Conrad has his car clinic coming up next.
Dude, you may want to slow down. There's a cop car up there. Hey, man. There's another cop. I'd think about putting your seatbelt on if I were you. And if you could sober up in less than 5 seconds, that'd be cool too.
As America gets back on the road, a lot of things have changed, but not the need for drivers to be safe. Cops are enforcing traffic safety laws in our community to save lives. Paid for by NHTSA.
Welcome back to the In Wheel Time Car Show. If you'd like to get in touch with us here at In Wheel Time, shoot us an email. The address info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. Today, focusing on cars and vermin. And I'll let him go ahead and tell you why.
Some time ago, Don's Corvette out there, the 2001 Corvette, that kind of sits parked most of the time. The air conditioning system stopped working effectively. And we took it to a friend of mine, James Bragg, who got a chance to look at it and come to find out that Don didn't have any snakes under the hood, but Don did have some rodents had been eating some of the vacuum hoses.
Squirrel, to be exact.
Squirrel, vermin, whatever you want to call them. But not only the vacuum hoses, the further we got into it, the more we saw that they were also eating the wiring harness. Now, Don originally had noticed it because they were storing acorns underneath the hood, and he put some mothballs in there to try and chase them away.
And that did work.
But they had already done some damage, I think, and that damage, you can see some of these pictures as to how that damage plays out when you're dealing with vermin underneath the hood of the car. Now, one of the things to know is these rodents, their front teeth are continuously growing, so they're always looking to chew on something to wear their teeth down. Otherwise, they end up looking like a walrus. And what they chew on tends to be some of the wiring and plastic
or the
inside
plastic
the car.
components and stuff. Something soft, but still
Well,
firm.
it's soft, but some of the reason for it is, farmers always knew that you had to deal with mice eating wires underneath the hood of the car, and they did a few things. But what happened in the 80s and the 90s is some of the sheathing, the insulating wires that the manufacturers have switched to, they've switched the material, and they've gone to a soy-based as well as rice husks, some peanut oil-based products.
Yummy.
Exactly, that they use to coat these and insulate these wires. And the reason for that is they want them to be more biodegradable over time.
Right.
So with that, as they warm up, that aroma is expelled by those wire harnesses. So that attracts the vermin in there who start chewing on it. And that's exactly the problem, whether it's vacuum hoses or electrical wires. In Don's case, it was a vacuum hose that caused his
And it wasn't a hose, a
conditioning.
traditional hose that you would think. It was a small, that was almost the diameter of one of those wires.
Right. But
it was
hard
teeny,
piece of plastic.
It was a hard piece of plastic, and it was tiny. And it was in with the wire bundle. It was the only,
really?
It was in with the wire bundle because it was the size of the wires. Why
I'll be
not?
darned.
And it had chewed a section off that was so long that we couldn't find out where it went. I had to take the car back
It was
to
tasty.
James.
It was tasty.
I had to take the car back to James. He had to pull the wheel off and the wheel well housing out and get to an area where this vacuum line went into that little ball canister that sat underneath the battery of this car. And the only way to get to it was the way I
Open
just
it up,
mentioned
right.
it. Yeah. And once he got in there, he found an entire nest with more acorns and stuff in there.
And, you know, everybody thinks, well, why don't manufacturers do something about this? It's a little hard to do because it's been going on for years. Actually, Toyota is facing a class action lawsuit in Florida about this from them not disclosing that some of their wires are attracting vermin to come in and eat. So that's going to play its way out. That is sometimes billable to your comprehensive insurance if you're carrying comprehensive insurance on your vehicle. So there's another way to possibly get it paid for. But, you know, what do you do about it? What are some of the deterrents that you can do and keep the vermin out? You know, mothballs is something I've used for years, and you can buy the mothballs. They come in these little
Packets
now, and you can set them in certain places in the car. You can buy what's called a bitter apple spray at most pet stores. You can use peppermint oil, powdered fox urine that you could buy at
That's my
Bass
choice.
Pro.
Powdered fox urine.
Used cat litter, but I don't think I'd use.
Wait just a minute. So I want to explore this used fox. So
He
what
didn't
do
say
you?
used?
Well, it's
the powdered fox urine.
So where do they get that from?
Bass Pro Shops.
No. But where do they get that from?
Yeah, nice try. You tried to dodge it.
Bass Pro Shops. Jeff says Irish Spring soap. I've never used Irish Spring soap, but that would probably smell better than powdered fox urine. What I've used through the years, is go buy some hot sauce and mix it with some vinegar and just go in there with a bottle spray and spray. First time they bite it, they go the other way and they're not going to come
Well,
back.
James mentioned to me, he said, just go buy some rat poison. The little blocks of rat poison. The only problem with that is that many times they'll wind up dying there, and
Right.
you'll wind
with
up
a smell and an electrical problem.
Yeah.
Well, and then you can always go back to the perfect mousetrap, the snap bait.
And that's
Put
what
a
I
little
plan
peanut-
on
put a
doing,
little peanut
putting
butter.
it underneath there because the squirrel is actually getting up into the engine compartment.
And-
I just put some rat traps down there.
And sometimes they come when you park the car. They're looking for a warm place to hang out. I don't know why you need a warm place to hang out in Houston in the summer, but
Well, not now, because this all happened in the fall with the first cold snap.
and your first indication was you saw they were storing all the acorns and stuff.
Yeah,
under
on the
hood.
top of the engine.
Right.
I had to get the vacuum out.
So there are things you can do, but boy, if you don't do it, it can be very, very expensive to
And
fix.
I'm here to tell you about that. Hey, reminder, if you belong to a car, truck, or Jeep club, we'd love to feature your group here on the In Wheel Time Car Show. Just send us the info and contact information to info@inwheeltime.com, and we'll put your bunch in our car club spotlight. Today's automotive news is next here on In Wheel Time.
Oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part because we're all #alone together. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
You know, we have to give a shout out to my dear friend George Skelton, who I've known since grade school. So, howdy, George, and thank you for the comments. What were those comments again?
Oh, George says Don's had a tough week with squirrels, torque wrenches, sears, not to mention COVID and a tropical storm.
No, it's a hurricane.
Yeah, it's a hurricane now.
It's a hurricane now.
And it's coming your way, George.
That's right.
We're sending it up north. No, it's not. It's going into Mexico.
No, is it going further south? I knew it was.
Well, it's going more
Corpus
west.
Christi,
Yeah, it's going to go. Yeah. Anyway, time now for today's automotive news. Stories making news headlines this week. Ford Mach-E prototype.
Did you see the video of this one?
I did not. Automaker unwrapped a one-off racing prototype called the Mustang Mach-E 1400. There we go with the 400 thing again.
No.
Featuring 7 motors and 1,400 peak horsepower.
At the hit of the throttle.
The vehicle, not intended for production, comes on the heels of a Cobra Jet 1400 electric prototype released this year. Ford plans to use the Mach-E 1400 as an example of what an electric vehicle can do on the track as it tries to build excitement for the launch of the Mach-E crossover this year. Prototype comes with 3 motors attached to the front differential and 4 attached to the rear. Ford says the design lends itself to drifting or high-speed racing. Ford did not disclose top horsepower or torque figures. And if you want to see a picture of this thing, that's from Automotive News. I don't know whether you can see that or not, but it's pretty bad to the bone.
They have a YouTube video up that's showing it drifting and doing a smoke show.
I'm sure. Well, you know the factory can do just about anything. They could put rockets on it, and everybody would look at it.
No, that was NBC News on the Chevy pickup trucks with the gas tank fires.
Gas tank fire. AutoNation plans to spend $200 million or $220 million to build 20 or more used vehicle-only AutoNation USA stores over the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm. There's 2 of them in Houston. There's one
already?
There's one. Well, they've been there for some time. There's one on 45 North, just north of the Shepherd Curve, and then there's another one out in Katy.
Okay. New consumer survey. I love these surveys. I don't participate in them. I used to, but I don't anymore. I don't have time for that. But I like to find out what everybody else is thinking. New consumer survey found that fewer customers plan to delay a vehicle purchase than did earlier this year, but affordability is a concern because nobody's working.
Nobody's working, right?
Yeah. The results out this week indicate the ways in which the coronavirus has affected consumers' vehicle purchase decisions. While fewer of them said they're planning to wait, 69% said they had delayed a purchase as of June, compared with 79% in an earlier survey in April. That's still more than 2/3 of consumers Car Gurus surveyed last month. A Cox Automotive study released last week found that 70% of consumers are extremely or very concerned about the virus. Well, hello. More than 40% of consumers who plan to delay their purchase said it is a scary time to make vehicle purchases. Jonathan Smoke, like his last name, Cox's chief economist, he's an economist, a bean counter, said in a video posted Tuesday that the dealership technology companies Auto Trader and Kelley Blue Book shopping brands still are generating more leads than a year ago, but at a slower pace. Car Gurus polled 779 shoppers in June, following an April survey of 722 vehicle shoppers.
And then if you drive around the city and you look, these dealerships are running out of trucks. You know, their inventory is low because people have been out buying. Some of it driven by the huge incentives that they were offering, but now the inventory is not catching up because they were out of production for a period of time.
Carlos Gossen.
He's still in the news.
Still. Well, it's a little bit more than that.
Giving.
It's family oriented these days. Remember I told you about his daughter?
Yeah.
Well, Carlos Gossen's son made about $500,000 in cryptocurrency payments to one of the 2 American men accused of helping the former Nissan Motor Company chairman escape criminal charges in Japan, according to U.S. prosecutors. Anthony Gossen made the payments to Peter Taylor, via the cryptocurrency platform Coinbase after the auto executive escaped in a box smuggled aboard a private plane in December. Prosecutors said in a court filing on Wednesday.
Was
together,
it a coin box?
Funny. Together with an earlier wire transfer, Taylor and his father, ex-Green Beret Michael Taylor, received at least a combined $1.36 million from the Gossen family, government records show. Carlos, who fled to Lebanon, has claimed his family played no part in his escape from Japan, where he faced charges of financial misconduct. But
I want to see the movie.
Prosecutors in the U.S., it's still developing. Prosecutors in the U.S. and Japan have gathered evidence indicating his son and one daughter, Maya, played some role in the operation. The Taylors were arrested by U.S. authorities in May at the request of the Japanese government, which is seeking to extradite them. No one in Gossen's family has been charged with aiding the escape yet.
Yeah, but they can't find them.
They can't find them.
They're all boxed up somewhere.
In some sort of drum kit box, I'm sure.
Brunching.
At least they were on a private plane.
So I wanted to share with everybody what we've got planned for next week.
Yeehaw.
Next week, we're going to do an EV show.
Yes,
I know.
Yes.
Mars is all excited about it. I'm as excited as watching the paint dry over here. I don't like EVs. I've had some very bad experiences with them.
We're going to change your mind next week.
No, you're not, but you can try. And we're going to explain to everybody why Don Armstrong doesn't like EVs.
Don needs range Xanax to deal with his anxiety.
Did they make that? Yes, I'll take a script for that. So it's all going to be about EVs, including the president of the, are you ready, sitting down, of the Electric Drag Racing Association. We got reviews of the Ram 2500 Power Wagon and the BMW X6 X-Drive, X-Drive, which is the four-wheel drive.
You had mentioned Don Garlitz not that long ago. Don Garlitz is trying to get an EV over 300 miles an hour in his latest version of the Swamp Rat.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's right. I heard that. And so
I called him. He was busy. He couldn't do it next Saturday, but he said he'd schedule with us at another day.
Oh, really? Who said that?
Don Garlitz.
Whoever answered the phone.
Oh, you didn't call down there, did you?
Ocala, Florida.
I tried.
Don Garlitz.
You actually tried?
Yes.
Yeah, I knocked on the door once when I was there in the neighborhood.
Oh, my gosh. Sometimes you amaze me. And if you're wondering what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to find today's clothes, and it's stuck to the back of another day.
It would always be the last
That's
page.
it for today's In Wheel Time Car Show. Hey, when you're on Facebook, please give us a like and watch our show over and over again. You'll also get Conrad's Unicorn hunting features, along with all things automotive. If you missed a show or even a little chunk of it, you can always find it online, our website, inwheeltime.com, and YouTube. Podcasts of the show available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, TuneIn, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. The In Wheel Time chief engineer is the fabulous David Ainsley. The guy wearing the skirt today is our video technical director and sales expert, Jeff Zekin. You ought to see that.
That's a kill.
Special thanks to all of our guests today. For Mike Out of This World Mars and King Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Thank you for following the In Wheel Time Car Show. Please tell your car friends about us. Have a great week. Stay cool like you know you are. Be sure and check our show online next Saturday, 10 a.m. to noon Central on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. We'll see you then. Please keep your pants on.